in the back of your mind, you saying, I just want to throw this frying pan up. Don't do it. Just if you think that, that's good. It ain't good if you throw it, but that's good. Because it lets me know you're a human being, and it lets me know that now you're starting the journey to learning what it means to be married to somebody through the good times and through the what? Bad times. See, I think when we say our vows, we say, I want to be married with you through the good times, and the preacher says the bad times, you say, the sickness and the health. We skip all over the bad times. We don't take that serious. But just as many all the good times that you have with each other, there are twice as many bad times you're going to have with each other. Yes, look for it. That's why you need Jesus. Because he's the only one that can help your marriage. He's the only one that can help your relationship. He's the only one that can help you through the turmoil that you're going to go through in relationship. Why did Paul write this in Ephesians chapter 5? I know why he wrote this, because Paul realized that even during his day, there were people who were not expressing unconditional Christianity in relationships. Look at Ephesians chapter 5 and verse number 25. Husbands, I'm talking to you now. Husbands, love your wife. Husbands, love your wife, even as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. Well, Brother Elvis, how do I love my wife? Look at verse 28 and 29. So husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself, for no man ever yet hates his own flesh, but he nourishes it, he cherishes it, just as the Lord does the church. Husbands, God expects us to be a Christian at all times to our wives. God expects us as men to be the head of our household, but the head of our household entails more than just making decisions. It means that we set the leadership role when it comes to solving problems. It means that we don't wait on the wife to come to us and say, we're sorry, but we suck that pride in and we go to them to work it out. That's what it means to be a Christian all the time, men. Men, it means that we can't be hateful. It means that we can't respond to our wives any kind of way. I don't care what kind of mood you're in. I don't care what kind of mood you're in. Turn it to God. The Lord said, husband. Notice the verse does not read this. In verse number 25, husbands, love your wives as Christ also loved the church, unless she makes you mad. Maybe you got a different translation. Maybe that's the Greek text. Well, I just got the English translation, so I'm going to use this. Husbands, God expects us to be a Christian at all times. Once again, stop saying with it. Stop asking yourself, do you do it, Brother Edwards? Don't worry about Brother Edwards. The first step to overcoming any problem is acknowledging that you want to work on that problem and become better in that area. Brother Edwards started that a long time ago. And I must say that Brother Edwards has gotten a lot better. But Brother Edwards is still not to the point that he needs to be to yet. Now, how about you? Stop blaming other people for your faults and stop pointing the finger at other people and examining your life by how they living. Husbands, and I know we got some good men here, and wives, you need to realize that too, because your husband could be somewhere else. And some of you out here, I get to you in just a minute, your husband may be somewhere else. I get to you in just a minute. But if you're here and your husband is here, you need to be thankful. Because I know people right now, I know a young lady right now who would give anything if her husband was here. Her husband, with that said, this is a struggle and this is a fight. But God expects us to love Him with all our heart, all our soul, and all our might. And in doing that, He expects us to love our wife the same way, no matter how she treats us. Is it hard sometimes? You know the answer to that. But forget about how hard it is And always remind yourself that it must be done. It must be done regardless of how hard it is. Ladies, what about you? Do you change when your husband treats you any kind of way? Before I go on, ask yourself a question. How can you all help each other if you change so much between conflicts? A wife that's trying to win her husband to the Lord, or a husband that's trying to win his wife to the Lord, how can you ever win a person to the Lord if that person see you change when they treat you a certain way? You know what they're saying in their mind? They're saying this right here. If that's the best y'all have to offer, I'll stay at home. Thank you. If Jesus can't control you, how in the world you think he can control me? Is this the best your Jesus got? That when I make you upset, you fly off the handle to me? If this is the best that your Jesus has, then don't you offer him to me. If he can't clean up your life, then stop trying to clean mine up. But on the other hand, you got somebody over here who no matter how many times her husband makes her mad, she never flies off the handle, and he looks over there at her and he said, man, is this the Jesus you serve? Why can't I make you mad? Why can't I make you upset? No matter what I do to you, no matter how I talk to you, you still are a Christian. I want that Jesus. Where is he? I want what you got. You remember the movie Fireproof? Some of you watched it, some of you didn't. If you didn't watch it, then go rent it. In the movie, after that boy had tried all he could try to win that girl, and he finally won her, she was at the edge of the bed, and she was talking to him. She said, what's the guy's name? She said, Rupert. That's not his name. She says, Rupert, you've changed. There's something in you that has changed. And you know what she said after that? She says, I want what you got. Ladies, the best thing you can do for a person that you're trying to win to Christ is to show them that you have something that they want. In 1 Peter chapter 3, beginning with verse number 1, we may have some women here tonight who have husbands that are not faithful to God, and you want them to be. Oh, you have desired it within your heart. You have shedded tears about it. You have prayed about it. You have talked to the elders about it. You've talked to the preacher about it. You've talked to friends about it. And this man just would not give in. This wife would just not give in. But, oh, Lord, you want them to become a child of God so bad, and I feel your pain. I feel your pain. I know people like this. I know a lady that put up with it for 17 years. And just the emotional strain alone almost killed her. I'm going to show you how to be an unconditional Christian. And when you do this, this is all you can do. In 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse number 1, wives, likewise be submissive to your own husbands. Notice that even if some do not obey the word, you know what, when I first became a Christian, we used to have arguments over whether or not this meant they were a Christian or whether they were unfaithful. What difference does it make? Either way it goes, they're going to lose their soul. So let's retranslate it. Ladies, ladies, be submissive to your own husbands, that even if some are on the verge of losing their soul, you may without, notice the indefinite article A, you may without a word, not the word, a word, win him by your conduct. Do you know why it says a word and not the word? The reason it says that is because he's not saying that you can't use the word of God verbally. What he is saying is, don't talk so much. Don't feel like that you as a lady who loves him so much and you want him to become a Christian, that you can walk around and talk to him all the time to try to get him to become a Christian. No, keep your words to yourself. Let him see your life. Let him see your conduct. Let him see the way you treat him. No matter how he treats you, when you walk around the house and show him that you're going to be a Christian unconditionally, no matter how or what he does, that's what's going to win him.